What is up, Bat Family, and welcome to Batman Theory, where we take a deep dive into comic books, movies, cartoons, and everything in between that has to do with The Dark Knight. So guys, I want to give you a two-part special on something that I've thought about a lot, and I think a lot of people really have, and that is, what if Bruce Wayne's parents were never murdered? What if they never got shot by Joe Chill in that alleyway on that fateful night? What kind of person would Bruce become? What kind of place would Gotham be? There's a lot of things that I wonder about, and I kind of came up with a fun little story and kind of my interpretation of how things would play out. So first and foremost, guys, we are a brand new channel. We're giving you daily content for Batman, and if you could like and subscribe to us and comment on a video, you're automatically entered into a giveaway we're doing as soon as we get to 1,000 subs. We're on our way there. As soon as we get our way to 1,000 subs, we are going to pick a winner, and we're giving away this really cool backlit Batman sign. So let's get to the video. So I want to get this out of the way, guys, that we do actually see this scenario happen in Batman the Animated Series, where it's not necessarily the same thing, but the idea is, the episode is called A Perchance to Dream. It's definitely one of my more favorite episodes. It's a lot of fun. Basically, it's where the Mad Hatter puts a hat on Bruce, which essentially gives him a dream, or false reality of which his parents are still alive and he is not Batman anymore. However, one thing it doesn't ever talk about, though, is how Gotham City truly is. We don't ever see that. We only see how it affects Bruce Wayne himself. But make no mistake, the death of the Waynes really did impact Gotham in many ways, and having them still alive would be very interesting, to say the least. In this what-if scenario, Joe Chill, the mugger who killed Batman's parents, doesn't shoot them. Instead, he just tries stealing Martha's pearls. Unlike the Dark Knight trilogy, Thomas does fight back, and he actually punches Joe Chill and scares him off. Bruce has taught a lesson that day. Anybody can get mugged. Nobody is safe. So let's assume that, number one, there is no Batman in this universe. Bruce does not become Batman. I can't stress that enough. There's no Batman in this universe. So Bruce grows up like normal, and I shouldn't say normal, but as normal as a billionaire child can be. He has a great and very privileged life. It's a great life, but it's a little mundane at times. He attends the finest institutions money has to offer, studying business management, first at Harvard and then transfers over to Oxford later on. I would imagine Bruce would most likely have been a captain of a polo team or a tennis squad, given his athletic prowess. And that's not going to go away just because he's not Batman. Bruce was always athletic. He had that genetic potential already in him. However, he wouldn't want to play a high-contact sport like football because he doesn't want to mess up his playboy face, pretty boy looks that he's got. After college, he would come back to Gotham and live in Wayne Manor full-time with Martha and Thomas. Martha and Thomas would live on one side of the mansion, giving Bruce the other side to live in. I don't really see Bruce being nearly as close and friendly to Alfred in this scenario. Alfred doesn't view Bruce either as a son like he normally does. Instead, he kind of sees him more like a nephew that he loves and cares about, and he still does love him, but it's not as deep of a love as that normally would share in a normal continuity when Alfred basically raised Bruce after Martha and Thomas's death. Bruce now works full-time as vice president of Wayne Enterprises. Lucius Fox does do most of the hard work. Not that Bruce doesn't work hard, but he's honestly busy being a real-time playboy, and a real playboy this time. What I mean by that is he actually dates the women, doesn't just pretend and put on this persona. Bruce truly is a playboy millionaire, dating different women all the time. Now, I want to backtrack and talk about Gotham a little bit. I honestly imagine Gotham being a truly horrid place without Batman there. Without Batman, Gotham slips further and further into chaos. We tend to forget that Bruce decides to become a crime fighter because of Gotham's villainy, but becomes Batman specifically, and not just regular crime fighter or just a cop, because the criminals and the police force were incredibly corrupt. He didn't want to become a cop or in the FBI or anything because he thought their methods weren't effective enough, but also there was so much corruption from pretty much any kind of place in Gotham, whether it's the cops, city officials, anyone. It was running rampant until Batman came around and started to slowly eke them out. So without Batman, the mob bosses like Sal Maroni and Carmine Falcone and others run Gotham and rule with an iron fist. Cops and city officials are bribed on a daily basis. I don't think Bruce would settle down yet. I see his most recent girlfriend being one that he likes, but this is where the story really starts to get interesting and take off. I think his most recent girlfriend and Bruce, they're walking down after having dinner in a nice restaurant in downtown Gotham, and they end up getting robbed. And during this robbery, Bruce starts to realize Gotham is definitely not what it once was. Inspired by his father when he was a child, during the robbery, Bruce does try fighting back, but ends up getting brutally beaten down and his girlfriend is taken away. An angry Bruce wants to find her and hope she is safe. We're not going to know until part 2 comes out tomorrow, guys, so that's the end of part 1 of what happens if Bruce Wayne's parents were not killed, or Batman's parents, I should say. So it's very interesting. Part 2 kind of goes in a different direction here. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that video. Until tomorrow, I hope you guys are safe and have a great day.